Hello people of the internet, it's Amanda, and for today's video I'm here to unload a lot of just feelings and reactions and just so many things. If you know what this weekend is about, like what's happening and anything like that, and you've been seeing some of the content that I've been pushing out lately, so the connection is already there. But if you're unaware, it's down in the title of this video. I'm gonna be talking about King and Prince Land Concert Tour 2020. Now, it's not exactly a tour given Corona, but you get the idea. So they have 5 shows in total. I've seen 2 out of the 3 shows that I plan to see. And yes, so I just finished watching the second one and I still have another one to watch tomorrow. So initially I planned to make a video after I've seen the performances that I was meant to see. It's just that I'm getting so overwhelmed with feels that I feel like I have to just talk about it. Like at least some of it, you know, just out there so that I can continue on tomorrow with a little bit more stability, if you get what I mean. That's just what we're gonna do today. Now, the thing with this is that if you've seen my other videos before or if you're new here, my style in making these types of videos is that it's pretty personal. Like I probably would dive deep into some technicalities here and there, like aesthetics or the audio or some tech stuff that went into the concert. But this is just really more of my own personal experience as to how I perceived the performances and the entire thing in general. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for, I don't know, top tier reviews or anything like that, this isn't the place for it. I'm just a fangirl doing what a fangirl does. Now, I'll be displaying the set list over here, so I'm too lazy to go at it one by one. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not really, you know, that type of person who would dive deep into the details, at least in the context of a concert. So I'll just be displaying them here for you to see and check out. And the thing is, I've talked about this in the Johnny's World Happy Live before, like the first day where I watched Arashi, V6, and K and Prince, and I told people in that video that I am considering that my first concert ever. Because fun fact, I really haven't been on an actual concert before ever in real life. So I told myself that I'm gonna consider that as my first. But given the circumstances, I decided that if anyone asks me, this is gonna be my official one. Like this is gonna be my official answer, my first con, whatever. You can judge me for it given that it's virtual, but it's that, okay? With that said, so I feel like the first half of this video is just me talking about the feelings that went into, you know, preparing for this and watching this. When I know that it's pretty bittersweet, like the fact that, you know, they were anticipating a live audience, but it just can't happen because of Corona. And prior to this, I've been reading tons and tons of their interviews and even their pamphlet. Like it talks about how much they really want to provide comfort and entertainment at the time, especially given how trying everything is during this period. And so I can only imagine not really more of like the frustration, but more of like the disappointment and the thought process that King and Prince members probably have gone through, finding out that, you know, given the circumstances, like they can't do an actual tour. But then the flip side of that is it also allows like other people outside of Japan to actually access their content and to participate in this event. So I feel like that in itself, as a fan personally, as much as I am pretty pumped when I heard that, you know, the cons are gonna be online and everything, I still felt a little bit of sadness for them on that part. Like I know it's different when you have your audience there with you. Moving past that, so going into the actual day of the concert, I kept on tweeting about how nervous I was getting, or all the like I was just running on adrenaline yesterday. It was so crazy. And I was like, I really had like cold hands, cold feet, and everything like that. And I was tweeting about this because I was trying to like humor myself into calming down and everything. And then one thought came into my head, you know, like, are people thinking that, you know, it might be too much for someone to feel this way, even if it's just an online concert? And the reason why I thought about this is because I've had people before who are not really into fandoms or anything like that ask me, you know, why do you invest yourself, not just in King and Prince generally, but more of like fictional characters, or I don't know, like personalities that I admire or anything like that. Like, why do people have the tendency to sort of like feel very attached to people, personalities, or characters that they haven't really met in real life, or probably don't know that they exist? And my thought process for that is, and I was just, you know, those are the things that were running through my head yesterday. Like, are some people finding this weird or anything like that, or do they feel like it's too much? But then at the end of the day, I told myself that the reason why I feel this way is because, not just because, you know, they're King and Prince or anything like that, but I feel like it could be anyone that I strongly, like, whose work strongly affected me. Like, at the end of the day, and I was talking to this to my fellow tiaras last night as well, like, we had a chat after the first concert, and with Miss Cindy and Miss Jem and with Miss Nana and Miss Z, and we were just talking about, you know, how being a fan of someone, it's really more of like how they made you feel at that moment of a part of your life or anything like that, or how they constantly make you feel. And it's not really more about them as personalities, but at the end of the day, it's all about you and how their works affected you. And that's why, since you have the agency to, I don't know, since you have the agency to support these people, I mean, you already know at the beginning that, you know, they don't really know you personally or anything like that, or that this idea of, you know, they're just doing their job or something like that. But it's really more of like, it's hard to explain to people sometimes who don't understand it, that it's not really about these personalities per se, but it's because of what they stand for in your personal life, in my personal life. And why do I feel like my voice is cracking? So there's that. Now, that's why I was feeling that way, because and I know, I feel like I haven't really talked about this before on my channel, but I mean, I've talked about, you know, taking a hiatus from the J-drama, J-pop life. And the thing is, the correlation I feel like that I have with King and Prince is that they sort of like drew me back into this world, and I was just pretty happy right now with how they've affected my how I'm currently back into this environment that I actually love and enjoy, and I get to talk about films and everything like that that I highly love back then, and I forgot about, and now I'm back here. So I feel like that's where the attachment and the support really comes in. And that's why I was super excited yesterday, and I already know that I was going to cry at any point. And yeah, it happened. I'm not gonna pretend that it didn't, because I did. And yeah, so that's basically like the first half of this video is just me talking about my feelings, apparently. I thought that was gonna be about the con, but then we sort of like digressed a bit. But anyways, we're actually gonna talk about the con now. So after that long ass intro, the thing with this is that I was immediately floored with. I was worried with the technical stuff, like, you know, internet lagging, everything like that. But so far, like, everything went smoothly. yesterday, I love how an hour before the performance, there was this entire instrumental playlist of their songs, and I was just obsessed with especially the member produced songs. It was just so good. Like, the songs themselves are already really, really good, but just hearing the instrumental versions of the member produced songs, it was really on another level. I was talking to people yesterday, like, Namiute Kokoro is a favorite, so that's a given. And so there's that. So the wait, like, even if you're waiting or something, like, that put a little bit more added value to it as well. So yeah. And then after that, so the concert was held in Yokohama Arena, and I didn't expect that many juniors to be participating. You know, this is the next generation of people who will take my money from me. Like, that was the first thing that came into my head. But I didn't expect the intro. So the intro is that the 5 of them were riding, like, they were riding this chandelier-like thing that was moving around the set of stage, and I was just like, I already got my money's worth just by that intro alone. Like, I'm not sure why. I was so impressed by that. I absolutely loved their costume in that for some reason. Like, they really gave off their very king and prince vibe in that. And the hairstyles. I mean, I know that a lot of Rentans are not particularly happy with the blonde, so we're just gonna leave that in this particular corner right here where we don't talk about it. But the other members, I mean, Kaito, I was kind of surprised because just recently he had a haircut and now he's back to having long hair, so that's one thing. And then Jin, as much as I love his long hair recently, his hair, like, his short hair with the fringe and everything, just worked. Kishi with that very clean, very nice comb over hair. I didn't expect that. I was expecting him to wear his I don't know, but that was just... And then, of course, this one, a lot of people already speculated, given Sho's J-Web entry the night before the live, where he posted something and then his hair was covered. So I was expecting him to have a different hair color or something like that for this one. But this level of blonde, I just felt attacked. Like, he, in that costume, so much royalty vibes. I mean, people here who know me already have watched me talk about King and Prince. Like, you know that Sho is my Ichi, so that's obviously the first thing that I noticed. But overall, like, how they presented, like, the first couple of songs, that in itself, like, the set design, it was so beautiful in my opinion. And obviously, like, you can feel the emptiness of the arena, like that hint of, like, sadness here and there, but they did a good job in terms of lighting everything up and having it sync through, you know, the performance and everything like that. And then we move on to, like, other performances where it was just pretty, like, it was definitely at par with, you know, how they usually perform. Like, King and Prince, I have to say that I'm really, really happy with how they usually conduct, you know, all the things that they do in their cons, where it's a mix of just them goofing off, but at the same time, like, not really flubbing too much. But they did a lot in the second schedule, which is the one that I just finished watching. They had a lot of, like, flubs in this one, but I don't know, personally for me, I sort of, like, understand that they're kind of tired, and they did it in a way that it's still salvageable, like, it's fun. And I think that's the appeal of just idols in general, that at least Japanese idols, where, you know, it's kind of, like, still nice and cute to see them mess up, and it was really, really messy. Like today's show was really, really messy as compared to yesterday's. But yesterday, there were a lot of like technical issues happening. Like some of the audio was cutting off, some of the camera work was a bit choppy. This one, audio is definitely a lot better. Camera work is a lot smoother, but there are a lot more like mistakes or anything like that. So there's that. Now, the lineup of the songs, I was kind of like, I have mixed feelings about some of the, like the insertion of some of the songs. Like for example, okay, so I understand juniors, you're there, I don't know, but I just feel like I went here for a land, you know, and I got this, some bits here and there that's not really King and Prince. So there's definitely that moment there while I was watching. I was so disappointed that Ao no Kage was not in the set list, but rather they put in Wash Your Hands, which I feel like now is Johnny's national anthem for some reason. Like I was kind of surprised that they added it there. One thing that was both tacky and at the same time like a bit questionable, I like the tackiness of it, and I would have enjoyed it better if I wasn't worrying about that bit. But the bit before ORESEN, so they did this little like skit about, you know, a kyun kyun game type of thing, really, really funny clothes or costumey clothes. So Kishi was looking like, I don't know, a pimp or something like that. Ren was actually pretty tame because he was wearing like a student uniform, in reference to his Yoapeda character. And then Jinguji comes in this like he was sort of like exuding a lot of like F4 C5 kind of vibes, but he was wearing very, very short shorts and his legs are just prettier than my own, and I'm a girl and his legs are just so, I can't even describe it. And then Sho comes in and he looks like a very, very stupid like gym instructor from the 80s to the 90s. It was so weird. But what put me off a bit was that bit with Kaito. Like he was wearing an Indian costume, he was doing a messy like Indian accent, and they did a monomane, so the snake dance that, you know, if you've seen like movies and stuff like that, that's usually showcased in a way when talking about Indian culture. And so for me, like seeing that, it felt a little bit inappropriate and awkward. Like they could have gone for anything else. Everyone else was wearing costumey outfits, so I personally didn't understand why they have to go that route for Kaito. And so there was a lot of like, I mean, I didn't see a lot of people like talking about it. It's just the people that I was talking to last night, you know, it was a thing that we were discussing. And so for this show, so a couple of mutuals from India got to pitch in their thoughts on it. And for them personally, and obviously like they don't speak for all of the Indian audience of King and Prince, but you know, for them it was just lighthearted fun, and they didn't really take offense on it, and they feel like, you know, it's not really like, it's very interesting to see that, you know, their culture is being discussed by, you know, their fave or anything like that. So it wasn't really that offensive to them. It's not really something that they took very seriously as well. So there's that. Now that's its own discourse, I guess. For me personally, I mean, I like that part because it was really, really fun. Like not Kaito's part, but more of like the entire thing that they're happening. It's very on brand with what ORESEN is like. But I mean, they could have really gone a different route to it. So yeah. Anyways, moving past that, I feel like after that bit, it was kind of like another thing that I want to talk about, that they sang Sora, which is a ballad or a medium ballad, wearing those outfits. And I was just like, why? That's basically just how their brand is. You know, they do stupid, silly things and they make it work when it comes to like serious things, and that number, I guess, encapsulates what King and Prince's branding really is. But it was just so weird for me because I was like feeling the lyrics of Sora and then just looking at them with those outfits. It was really kind of like weird. Oh, I skipped the part. Before I dive deep into the latter parts of the con, I cried at the part of Ima Kimi ni Tsutaetai Koto because I absolutely love that song. I mean, I feel like I mentioned it before, but at that point, I was holding it in, really holding it in. When they sang that, I lost it. I started crying, like really just crying, and then just feeling the songs and everything. And then I sort of like stopped because it got a little bit more fun. And then the members' messages started happening, like the VTR thing where they wrote their own messages to the fans about, we couldn't really spend time right now, but hopefully, we get to in the future once this is over, all of these things. And that I just lost it at that point. And then after that they sang Focus, which I absolutely love. And then after that, Laugh End was the song after Focus. So it was just an entire thing of just me being a mess by the end of it. And then when they sang Kimikairu Sekai, and they did that entire thing with a pink light, and how it sort of like lit up their like boat thing, I was just, oh my gosh, Genki, everything. Even for when the petals fell down, like I absolutely love how they never forget to insert him in, especially in these types of performances. What else? There's just so many things. I'm talking about the con in a way that it's not consecutive at all. So I'm so sorry about this. But another thing, I was just so full of feels during the first day because Sho was being such a brother over the juniors. It was so fun to watch, and he even carried one of the small juniors during Full-Time Lover. So it was just, I don't know, I just had so many feels about that during the first day. I was kind of sad that he was more mellow, at least when it comes to like messing with the juniors during the second show. But on the first show, he was just messing with the juniors so much. It was so adorable. I just can't. And yeah. What else is there to talk about? Okay, so they did this thing. So the entire concept for Land is basically, taking the tiaras to King and Prince and this land that they're building. That's the concept. And so they had this like VTR thing. And I was cool with all the like graphics and anything, but the fonts are so ugly. And even like the ones popping up during the We Are King and Prince, like the song, there's just so many things happening, but the choice of font, I can't. But I sort of like understand, okay, it's fine. I mean, it's a minor detail, but I don't know, I just feel like I have to like talk about that as well, because as much as I love the aesthetics of this entire thing, of how the set design, I like especially the lighting for Namiute Kokoro. I absolutely love that. I feel like No Limit Tonight was a bit like they could have done more with No Limit Tonight, but Namiute Kokoro for me, like how they did that, and then Kimikairu Sekai, it was just, and what else? Like Freak Out was also pretty good. Mazy Night, the way that they did that with the whole like pyrotechnics thing, all of it was just really something. But I don't know, just the fonts thing, I guess. There's just so many things. Like oh my gosh. But anyways, I'm willing to like let that go because of how overwhelmed I am with the feelings that I have for this particular live. I'm pretty excited about the last one. I really felt their fatigue for today. And I guess I was pretty happy because they were talking during the MC. They started talking about projects and everything, and everyone was basically fully booked. So I'm pretty happy that all of them are, you know, going about their own projects and everything like that. And yeah, so again, I feel like overall, I'm pretty happy and pretty satisfied that this is what I'm considering to be my first concert ever. I know that this video was a mess, and it was just basically me talking about, you know, things, observations, anything like that, and that's how it usually is here on my channel. But the thing is, as much as, you know, there are some things that I really found questionable, or there's some lapses here and there, or I noticed that some of their lines, like some of them were really missing their pitches, especially for today's show. But again, it all boils down to the fact that, you know, it's the feeling that I personally feel as I'm watching them, and I feel very happy, I feel very satisfied, I feel very moved, and that's all on me, like, you know, and I feel like that watching this concert made me realize that. I mean, I've always thought about it because I've always been involved with the fandoms that I'm in, and I've been pretty passionate about just being a fangirl in general of like other things. But the thing is, that's really that, you know, they want to have their feelings come across through this performance, even if it's virtual, and I get that. And I feel like that the way that it reached me, it made me feel is the way that it made me feel, that's truly my own, and I'm responsible for that. And I'm pretty happy that I'm currently standing this group. They're my main group right now, even if I have like other groups that I'm supporting and anything like that. They're my main group, and I'm really happy that I discovered them just when they debuted, and I'm looking forward to their progress. I feel like given what I've seen now, it's definitely something to look forward to. Like, what else do they have for me as a fan? And I don't know, I feel like that's the best way to end this video. I honestly don't want to cry, so I keep on like bouncing from detail to detail. But yeah, before I forget, I just want to say that they also announced a new single arriving on December 16, which is just a day before Genki's birthday, and the title of the single is I Promise. It's a collaboration with 7-Eleven, who they've collaborated with last year. So for people who wanted to listen to Winter Love Story, which they didn't release, they are going to release it this December. Weird, because as soon as the first concert ended, CD Japan just sent a message to my email about it, and guess who already pre-ordered just as soon as they announced it. I'm looking forward to the performance tomorrow. Tell me down in the comments below, have you seen the concert? Have you seen any of their concerts? Have you listened to any of their songs? I would love to hear your thoughts on them, or if you just passed by this video and for some reason you watched this, thank you so much, and maybe, I don't know, I got you to listen to them. But yeah, so give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and if you're new to my channel and you would want to hear more from me, please hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you again soon in a new one. Bye!